Hello, scholars. I am so sorry that I am missing your class today. It makes me very sad that I don't get to see you on a Friday. I really hope that your Maverick Math quiz went well. If it didn't, we can go over it, but you guys are all fantastic scholars, so I'm sure that it was quite amazing. Scholars, today we are going to go over some review for Epic Proportions 23. Epic Proportions 23 is just a review of everything that we've been doing. It's going to help you get ready for your unit test on Monday. Again, your unit test is on Monday. If you have questions about this, feel free to give me a phone call over the weekend. Feel free to text me. And also feel free to log on to Google Classroom and watch this video again, because everything that we talk about today will be on your unit test. So if you pay attention, you take great notes, you will be all set for your unit test on Monday. Again, that unit test is on Monday. As a reminder, we will spend the first 50 minutes of class, so the first period, the first block of math, we will spend reviewing, and then in the second half of our class, the second block of our class, we will take the test. So if you have any questions that you don't get answered today or over the weekend by a phone call or text message to me, just know that we will still have 50 minutes to review before the test on Monday, just like we always do. So please keep that in mind. Epic Proportions 23. This is Epic Proportions 23. I'd like to go over the do now, and give me 1 second. Trying to make sure that technology is working and that Miss Weber is actually recording herself. All right, it looks like it's working. I did accidentally just turn my computer off there. So scholars, let's hope this goes well. Please show Miss Weber some silent love. All right, so I would like to go over the do now. Here's our do now. Number 1 says, at a meeting, there were 18 men and 24 women. 18 men and 24 women. So I'm going to circle 18. I'm going to box men. I'm going to circle 24. I'm going to box women because I'm cubing my problem. It says, what is the ratio of men to women at the meeting? Men colon women. The answer would be 8 colon 24. But oh no, I do not see 8 colon 24 as an answer option. I do not see 8 colon 24 as an answer option. So that must mean that I need to simplify this ratio, which means I need to ask myself, is there a number that goes into 8 that also goes into 24? The answer is yes, there is. 8 divided by, let's see here, 8 divided by 4. Oh, scholars, this question right here. This question right here actually says there are 18 men, and 24 women. I just misread it because my marker wrote over it. So we have 18 men and 24 women. This is not in simplest form, 18 to 24, because they have a factor in common. Their common factor is 6. It is 6. So if we simplify it, 18 divided by 6 is 3. 24 divided by 6 is 4, which gives us a ratio of 3 to 4. Do we see that in any answer option? Hello, letter A. Yes, we do. The answer is A, 3 to 4. For problem number 2, our problem, and I'm going to change the size of my pen so that when I cube this problem, I don't quite have the same issue that I was having before. It says 4 long distance runners each ran at a constant speed. Which runner ran at a speed of 5 kilometers per hour? So we want to know which of our 4 long distance runners ran at 5 kilometers per hour. That's a unit rate. I'm going to write it off to the side. We want to know who ran 5 kilometers per 1 hour. That's the unit rate that I'm looking for. So Kenneth ran 8 kilometers in 2 hours. If we put that in simplest form, we would have 4 kilometers per 1 hour. 4 kilometers per 1 hour. So that doesn't look like it matches 5 kilometers per hour. Demetrius ran 8 kilometers in 3 hours, which means that if we write this as a unit rate, he would run 8 kilometers. Sorry, I made a mistake. He would run 8 over 3 kilometers per 1 hour. 8 over 3 kilometers per 1 hour. If Christian ran 10 kilometers in 5 hours, he would run, 10 divided by 5 is 2. So he would run 2 kilometers per hour. And Quentin ran 15 kilometers in 3 hours. So if you run 15 kilometers in 3 hours, you would have to divide 15 by 3 to figure out how many kilometers you run in 1 hour. This means that Quentin ran 15 divided by 3 kilometers per hour. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So Quentin ran 5 kilometers per 1 hour. Does that match our unit rate that we were given in the problem? Show me yes or no. Show Miss Foster yes or no. This is the unit rate that we are given in the problem. When we simplify the rate that we are given in letter D, we also get 5 kilometers per hour, which means that letter D is our answer. Means that letter D is our answer. Oopsies, I shouldn't be drawing like that. I don't know why it's drawing things on my paper that I didn't want. Let's see here. I didn't want that either. Grrr. Okay. Let's see here. So now I have 2 more examples from Arduino. This says Robert and his friends painted a mural in art class. The shaded part of the figure below represents the part of the mural that Robert painted. Which of the following best represents the percent of the mural that Robert painted? I'm going to go through this one really quickly. This is very similar to what we did on Wednesday in class. It's very similar to what we did on Wednesday in class. So we know that this is kind of like a combination between a tape diagram and a double number line. So we know that all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these squares represent 100%. So I'm going to write 100% for my last line, which means that I have 5 if this is 0% down here. I have 5 more tick marks that I have to put a percentage on. I need to figure out what percent is represented by each equal distance by each box. I'm going to figure that out by counting the number of boxes and dividing 100 by the number of boxes. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes. So I know that each box must represent 20%. So above each of my lines, I'm going to roll my 20s. Going to roll my 20s. 20%. This one is 40%. This one is going to be 60%. This one is going to be 80%. And then finally, my last one is 100%. So my 2 shaded regions represent 20, 40%. They represent 40%. My answer would be D. My answer would be D. D, 40%. And finally, Coach Lev needs to buy new basketballs for gym class. This table shows the total cost of basketballs. So we have the number of basketballs in our column right here, and we have the total cost in this column. It's asking what is the cost per basketball. Sounds like this is asking for a unit rate. If I'm trying to find my unit rate, I am going to divide cost by number of basketballs. Cost per basketball, cost per one basketball, tells me that I need to divide the total cost by the number of basketballs. So I could pick any of these lines in my ratio table to divide. I'm going to pick the first line just because it's the first one there. I see a 5 and I see a 45, and that's an easy division problem for me. To find the cost per basketball, I have to divide cost by number of basketballs, cost by number of balls. Oopsies. Undo. When I divide cost by number of basketballs, I will divide 45 by 5. 45 divided by 5 equals 9, which means I'm going to pay $9 per basketball. Please show Miss Foster's slant when your paper equals board. Please raise your hand if you are still copying this down and you need Miss Foster to pause the video. So we have a couple of notes, just a couple, not too many today. Just as a reminder, the rate is the unit rate and the rate unit combined. Is the unit rate and the rate unit combined. The unit rate is just the ratio value. So we write our ratio down as a fraction and then we divide. We've been talking about these definitions for the past 3 weeks, so I think you guys have got it down, but I just wanted to remind you before your test tomorrow. So the unit rate is just the value of the rate. The rate unit is just the units. It's just the units written with a slash or the word per. So again, we keep talking about the rate unit being this thing that's written with a slash or the word per. So miles per gallon, feet per second. Those are the rate units. Rate units do not have numbers with them. So we're going to review some tricky problems now to help us prepare for our test tomorrow. Just a couple of problems. So we have a problem here. It says Margaret is completing an iReady test. At the bottom of the page, the test says 60% complete. I'm going to make sure I cube this problem. The test says 60% complete, and Margaret just finished question number 18. How many questions are on her iReady test? You can use a table, a diagram, a model, or an equation to justify your answer. I am going to use equivalent ratios. I'm going to use this idea of equivalent ratios to help us solve this because I think that this is the easiest way to solve this. If you would rather use a double number line model, you are welcome to. If you like creating double number lines, double number line. If you like creating double number lines, please feel free to do that. That is not how I'm going to solve this problem. I am going to solve this problem using equivalent ratios because those are a little bit quicker to draw. Those are a little bit quicker for us to use, and your unit test has a lot of questions, and so you want to make sure that you're saving time. But if you are more comfortable with a double number line, you will have enough time to use it. I promise. I promise you. You can go ahead and use your double number line. I just am going to use equivalent ratios. So first, what do I know about percentages? Percentages have this property because percent means out of 100. So we remember that if we see a number with a percentage sign, it's really just a fraction out of blank. Scholars, take a minute in your head to think a percentage means a fraction out of what? I know you all know this. A percentage is a fraction out of 100. So if I see 60%, that's just telling me that 60 is a fraction out of 100. I need to set that equal to part over whole. So Margaret just finished question number 18, and she's trying to figure out exactly how many questions are on her test. She knows with question 18, she is 60% finished with her I Ready test, which means that this is an equivalent fraction to 18 over question mark, to 18 over question mark. So this is how I would set it up as an equivalent ratio. But now I'm starting to notice something. I'm starting to notice that I don't know how many times 18 goes into 60 because 60 divided by 18 does not give me a whole number. So I'm starting to think that maybe the double number line was a great idea for this problem. So I don't need to erase this, but I can just go and create a double number line underneath of this. Create a double number line underneath of this that has some more work on it. So I'm going to go ahead and create a double number line to represent this problem because I'm starting to think that that is probably a better option. And scholars, if you're on the test and you went through a certain line of thinking, just like I did, and you're like, oh, I think this way is going to work really well, and then you start to realize it's more challenging, we have lots of different tools that we can use to work with ratios, so just pick a different tool. If you get stuck using one method, go ahead and just pick a different method. So I'm going to create a double number line. I have to remember the test says that we are 60% complete, and we are on question 18. So I am going to go ahead and I am going to make 18 boxes down here to represent my 18 questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I know that when I have 18 boxes, this is my 18th box, I know that I finished 60% of the test. I know that I finished 60% of the test.